Call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education scheduled for Tuesday, June 11th, 2024, held here at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers of City Hall. Roll call, please.
Member Browning?
Here.
Member Kane?
Here.
Member Kinney?
Here.
Member Lo Cicero?
Here.
Member Martinez?
Here.
Member Weber?
Here.
President Circovich.
Here, we have a quorum present. Thank you. Please stand, and we're going to have our Al DeFran winners, Kira and Eli, lead us in the pledge. Nice and loud. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome. Thank you for leading that. All right, Dr. Anderson, special orders and reports. Oh, I'm sorry. Vision and mission. I'm so excited to see the kids that I skipped the vision and mission. Trustee Weber will read the vision statement, and Vice President Browning will read the mission statement.
Vision statement: a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community that develops resilient, innovative, and engaged individuals.
Mission statement, collaborating and aspiring to educate, engage, and empower all.
Thank you. All right, now we can go to special orders and reports.
All right, now we have a very full house tonight, and we have a number of scholarships to give out. So first, I'm going to invite up Principal of Garfield Elementary, Mrs. Jessica Cull.
Good evening. We are super excited to present our award winners from Garfield this evening. Our academic scholarship is based on academic achievement, high moral character, and then they also have to write an essay to apply for the scholarship. Then we also have our safety scholarship this evening. I'm going to pass it off to the teachers and staff who are going to be presenting the scholarships: Amanda Edwards, Kristen Crane, Reagan Kusabab, and Jamie Rossman.
And parents, if your child is being honored, we invite you to come step on back here behind me, Dr. Anderson, Mrs. Browning. Take whatever pictures you want. This is the best seat in the house. We don't want you to miss out on this special moment for your friends that are here. So please do come on back. Bring your phone, bring your video, whatever you got. We want you to catch it all. You'll just give the parents just a second, Miss. Thanks. Come on, right behind me. Here's great. I want to see those beautiful faces. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Miss Amanda Edwards, and I teach 5th grade at Garfield Elementary. One of the scholarships that we present at Garfield is an academic scholarship, and one is presented to one student in each class of our 5th grade population. The student is chosen based on not only their academic performance, but also their leadership within the community and within our school community. So we want to both have somebody who can perform above the rest of their peers and is well-rounded and shows great character. I'm very pleased to present my student, Miss Nia Woods. She is above her classmates academically, scores high in NWEA and on all of her assessments, but more than that, she's just a wonderful person. Nia struggles sometimes, but she perseveres. Even in the last week of school, she got very frustrated with something, but she doesn't give up. She helps her peers even without being asked, and she just wants to be a good person. In order to achieve this scholarship, the students have to write an essay to apply. And in her essay, Nia said that she just wants to be the best person that she can be, which is very evident if you watch her at school and I'm sure at home and within her community. And she said that by doing so, not only does she improve herself, but hopefully she also brings joy to other people. Aww. So thank you for having us tonight. I'd like to have Miss Kristen Crane come up to present her student as well.
Hi, my name is Kristen Crane. I'm also a 5th grade teacher at Garfield Elementary. I've had the pleasure of working with Miss Lila, my student this year. She embodies student athlete. She is part of many clubs. She was part of our leadership team, our safety team. She was a chalker. And outside of school, she is a cheerleader, a softball player. She excels at theater. She wants to be part of Broadway someday. And she when she has time, she decides that she wants to be a straight A student as well. So she's just exceptional. She pushes herself. She pushed me as an educator this year. She helps others, and she is just overall a good kid, and I know she's going to do great things. In her essay, she said she wanted to be a math educator if Broadway didn't work out.
Yes.
So I cannot wait to see my lifelong learner and what she does in her future. Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I am Reagan Kuspa. I also teach fifth grade at Garfield Elementary. I'd like to introduce my student, Faith Reitmeyer. I have had the privilege of knowing Faith for a very long time at Garfield, and I had the great pleasure of being her fifth grade teacher this year. Faith was chosen for the academic scholarship because of her amazing accomplishments and her leadership on our Lighthouse team and as our captain on our safety squad. She has always been a leader in and out of the classroom, and I cannot wait to see what she accomplishes as she embarks her journey as a Wilson Warrior. But it is a great loss to Garfield, but she is always going to be a Gator in our hearts. I'd like to introduce Ms. Jamie Ralston.
I wrote mine down. I'd like to introduce the board, the cabinet members, and the community to Charles Marino, better known as CJ. I had the pleasure of being CJ's kindergarten teacher years ago, and then this year I was his AAA safety mentor this year. CJ was chosen this year to receive Garfield Safety Scholarship for quite a few reasons. CJ was a leader at Garfield as a Leader in Me Lighthouse member. He is a fierce friend. He always has a positive attitude, always took whatever post he was assigned without a complaint, and that's not very common. And I've never seen him without a smile on his face. I am very proud of the young man he is becoming, and I hope his enthusiastic spirit never stops shining. We will miss his energy and positivity, but I know he's going to do great things at Wilson. Congrats, CJ.
All right, thank you, Garfield Gators. Next up is Principal Crystal Eskin from Jefferson Elementary.
All right, Jefferson parents, same rule applies to you. Come on back.
You guys gotta come up and be like. Good evening, everyone. We're excited to be here this evening to present 2 scholarships to 2 of our 5th grade students. And I'm just gonna hand the microphone right over to Ms. Julie Lipinski to make the introductions.
Good evening. Thanks for having us today. Our scholarship is named after George Schoenfeld, a former Jefferson teacher who sadly passed away, and it's called the George Schoenfeld Respect Scholarship. And we do ours a little differently. We have the students vote, and they can't just pick their bestie. We tell them, well, you can, but you have to give me a good reason. And they do an amazing job of it. So what I'm going to do for you tonight is read you the reasons that the children chose these amazing students. I'm going to start with our female winner. I think she should get the scholarship because I've seen her work on worksheets and rarely talks during work. She is very hardworking. She shows great integrity towards this school. She's very kind. Ever since I met her, she was very dedicated to what she does. She's a great student. For example, she never interrupts. She always tries to help out everyone. She's an awesome person. She always follows the rules that apply to this school. I picked her because she stays on task when people are talking. She listens to the teacher and is always kind to everyone. I think she should win because she is smart, kind, and independent. She is a very hard worker in class and always finishes her work. She is a kind and loving person and is respectful to all people. She is always on task and always helps people when they need it. When she is told to do work, she does it the first time. I think she should win because she is so smart and has always been nice to me and everyone around her. Another reason is that she is always respectful, responsible, and safe. I chose her because she's kind, safe, respectful, responsible, and smart. She is the best at helping kids with their work. She is a great person. She is a very kind person with a good personality. I chose her because she is safe, kind, and respectful. She is nice to everyone, even if she doesn't know them. She is very nice and listens. I think she should get the Jefferson Scholarship because she is always on task and never talks when it's not needed. She is also very helpful. For example, after recess, she and a friend always put everything back where it goes. She gets all of her work done, no homework, and never has detention, and is the best person in the world.
Wow.
She is kind and respectful and smart. She does her work even if she's having trouble with it. She tries her best. She works hard and does not quit if she is having trouble. She does not rage. She is awesome. She is always on task. She is polite, kind, smart, and accepting. I think she deserves this. She is a really smart individual in math and reading. She is the smartest in our class, except the teacher. Shout out to Mr. Claudio, who couldn't be here this evening. I chose her because she is very kind and is always looking out for others, even when she doesn't have to. Also, she is very respectful to all the teachers and is very smart and gets her work done. I picked her to win because I always see her following the rules and always being kind to all the other classmates, and that's why I think she should win. She is one of the nicest people I know. Miss Ava Guglielmetti. And our young gentleman, the votes were very spread on the boys, so I don't have quite as much about him, but he is just as amazing. He is kind to everyone, and he is ready to help someone, and he is friendly. That's why I'm voting for him. He is nice, funny when it's an okay time to, respectful, and turns almost all of his work in. I picked him because he is mostly always following the rules. He listens to the teacher and follows school expectations. He is the best. He always stands for what he thinks is right. You can just tell if you spend a day in our class because kids who do their job often get overlooked. I think he should win. He is always nice to anyone, whether he likes them or not. He has never bullied anyone. If anything, he's probably stopped a bully. He does all his work and he never gets into fights. He is my best friend and he never has homework. He is a responsible student, safe and always kind. He is a great person. That is why I think he should get this scholarship. He is a great Jaguar. He shows great integrity towards this school. He's a very kind person. He always tries to help the teacher and the students. He's super hardworking at anything he does. He tries his hardest. Ever since I met him, he was always kind and hardworking. Mr. Nico Delgado. Both of these young students were also part of our safety squad, showing just how much they want to help in the school as well. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right, next up from Monroe Elementary, our principal, Miss Whitney Shenavar.
Monroe parents, come on back. We'd love to see ya. Take your pictures, videos, whatever you like.
All right, so let me get all my stuff here. All right, hi, good evening. I'm Whitney Shenavar. I'm the principal at Monroe Elementary, and we have 3 scholarship winners that we're going to present to you today. One of them could not be here, but we have a fun way to showcase her as well. So our scholarships at Monroe, we have 2 that were given out, like Jefferson, picked by the students. So we had the students pick students that they said were the best model Mustangs. And to be a model Mustang, you have to be respectful, safe, kind, responsible, follow all of those PBIS expectations. So I will announce who they are, but I'll let their fabulous teachers talk about some of the reasons that their friends voted for them. And then I'll come back and I'll talk about our 3rd scholarship, which was something brand new that we did this year. So our first one is our male winner, and that is Lucas Conlon. And I'll bring up Miss Beth Simmons to talk about Lucas.
Okay, I didn't know I was speaking tonight. So on the fly here a little bit. Lucas is an amazing gentleman. Some notes I wrote down really quickly. He is very smart. He is a hard worker. He's always getting his schoolwork done. He's probably the first one done, almost always. He always helps out without being asked. He is friends with everyone, especially when we have to get in a group setting. He will work with anyone, and he will work with them well. He goes out of his way to make you feel good, to make friends with people. He has a great personality. He has an amazing sense of humor. Sometimes it's a little iffy, but I like that.
Yes.
he is a great problem solver, and he takes the initiative to help the classmates and the teacher. Multiple times, he's just stepped in and done what needed to be done, and just was like, by the way, Miss Simmons, this was happening and this was happening. So I just got in the middle of, I just talked to them, and we're okay now. I was like, all this happened from our room down to library. Cool, I didn't even know it happened. Thank you so much. So Lucas definitely deserved this award, and I'm very proud of him.
All right, and next I will bring up Miss Bethany Ankura. She's going to talk about our female scholarship winner voted by the students, and that is Miss Kylie Hounshell.
Good evening. This is Miss Kylie Hounshell. She is our female winner this year from my classroom. My favorite thing that the students wrote about Kylie, which is 100% true, they wrote, there is never a time when Kylie is not a model Mustang, which I loved, that I thought spoke volumes, and it actually says everything you need to know about Kylie. Kylie is exactly what we look for as a model Mustang. She is kind, she is respectful, she's extremely responsible, she's friends with everybody, she works hard, she tries hard. She is as sweet as she looks. But she's also very brilliant and smart and driven and hardworking. So I am very honored and pleased that Kylie has won our Model Mustang Scholarship for females.
All right. Okay, this one I gotta do my notes or I'll cry. Okay, so our last scholarship that we have at Monroe this year is one that we made new this year, and it is something that the 5th grade team and I decided to add after our dear friend left us. For any of you that do not know Mrs. Karen Galima, she was a person that held so much love in her heart, and she cared for each and every one of her students like they were her own children. The time and dedication she put into her 39 years as a teacher was something I could never properly put into words. However, what we were able to do with this scholarship was honor her. So to do that, we thought that there would be nothing better to do than create an award for a 5th grade student called the Karen Galima Kindness Award. We wanted to give that special award to a student who always went out of their way to check on others, say something nice to a person that was having a really hard day, and just be an overall positive light in our school, like Karen was. So it's very fitting that we all decided that the student that was worthy of this award, and because even Mrs. Galima herself said, she is one of the reasons I get up in the morning. She is so helpful and sweet that anyone would be lucky to sit with her. So it was an easy decision to make, and we had a little help from our friend. And those words and so much more describe our student and her kindness. So even though she can't be here tonight, we wanted to award Miss Harper Teets, and we have a fun way to show what she looks like. And those are our scholarship winners from Monroe. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have Washington Elementary. Our principal, Kristen McMaster, will be coming up. And parents from Washington, you're welcome to come back.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having us here this evening. This is one of my favorite nights of the school year. It is just such an honor, and it's so exciting to see all of these wonderful students. So I want to congratulate all of the winners from all of the schools. You guys have worked so hard, and you're sure you're all so deserving of this award. We have 6 scholarship winners that we're going to present from Washington this evening. Our scholarships are based on academics as well as kindness and leadership. We are generals, we are leaders, and I'm proud to present our 5th grade leaders. Oh, actually, let me present my teachers. Our 5th grade teachers who will be giving the scholarships, Mr. Jerry Fivecoat. We've got Mrs. Denise Snap. Where are my other teachers? There we go. Miss Beth Page will be presenting tonight.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. As Mrs. McMaster mentioned, at Washington, we have two categories of scholarship. One is an academic scholarship. The other is the Michael Knapp Legacy Scholarship that is given to students who are not always the best of students, but work the hardest. Whatever challenges they face, they overcome those to make themselves the best that they can be. There is one of each from each of our 3 classrooms. First, I will go with my academic scholarship. This is Jacob Minetta. My love affair with Jacob started back in 2nd grade. And I was at the park with my granddaughter, and I just started picking up trash, and the next thing I knew, this little kid was picking up trash next to me. And I said, well, you can go play. And he said, no, I want to help. And then I noticed his mom was looking over at us, and I had to walk over and introduce myself and say, it's okay. I teach at Washington. I know him. He was one of my reading buddy groups at the time, and he's been my right hand since. He was my room helper for a couple of years and things like that. So, and then to have him in class, even only half the year, was a wonderful reward for me and a nice way to end my year. So congratulations, Jacob. And the Mike Knapp Legacy Scholarship Award from my classroom goes to Hannah Wallakonis. Hannah has been a library aide for 3 years now, which is a very coveted position, and you have to train for it, and that's why you keep it for 3 years, because once Mrs. Neefer trains you, you're in. Hannah was also president of our HELP group, which is Helping Everyone Live Positively, our community service group. She led them through at least 2 of the projects that I know of, which was a coin drive for a younger student in the building who had been in a pretty horrific car accident. And the second was a pajama drive along with scholastic books for local agencies. So, with that being said, she started out the year with very little confidence, and now I see her blooming and smiling and standing up here. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for allowing us to come out and speak with you. I love this. I love sharing our wonderful Wyandotte kids with their whole city. These are already, I was going to say are going to be the leaders. These are already your leaders. Common denominators you heard over and over again for all these students in Wyandotte will be repeated here for both Amelia and Grant, but I thought I'd give you some specific examples of how they display some of those skills that were aforementioned. Amelia, she's my academic scholarship award winner, but I'd be remiss, and at risk of making her a little embarrassed, but she started off her elementary school career as a struggling reader. And you would have never known that. She is easily the top reader at Washington Elementary now. She has grit. She works hard consistently in class. And not only does she work hard to display the skills that she has to her fellow classmates, but she makes a point to go around and help everyone in need. Whether they're in our classroom or around the school with our differently abled students, it'd be picking up things in the hallway to closing locker doors just to make sure that our school looks great. When we think of Washington Generals, we think of leadership and the pride and the loyalty that she has to our school. Just epitomizes that leadership. And I'm just honored to present Amelia with our Academic Scholarship Award. Yay. Grant's an interesting one. Grant is one of those classic kids that you all know when we were all in school, that quiet kid that just comes in and does what they're supposed to do day in and day out. Don't oftentimes receive recognition, don't oftentimes get the glory of the highest test scores, but Grant loves his fellow human. Grant, when he leaves safety patrol post every day, takes the long way to his locker. No, Wilson people, not to try and be late and skip class. Grant takes the long way around because he makes a point to stop off at every teacher's door to greet them with a hug and let them know that he's thankful that they come in every day to be with their students. Grant's the kid that when he sees the issues going on between students, he's the one that comes over and acts as the peacemaker between everyone. You'll find him on the playground playing with kids his own age, as well as making sure that the kindergartners are all actively involved. High fives, fist bumps as he goes down the hallway, encouraging the little ones repeatedly every day he comes to school. Grant won't come into class without giving me a hug greeting, and will literally, even when it gets kind of hectic at the end of the day, we'll patiently wait. And again, because he's such a wonderful, quiet young man, he'll sit down. Grant, did you need something? I can't leave without my hug, Mr. Five Code. So yes, it brings joy to my heart to shine a little spotlight on our wonderful Grant Korzinski.
Good evening. I have the pleasure of introducing Nora Sherratt and Zachary Leckety. Nora, I'm going to start with. Nora is one of the hardest working students I've had the pleasure to teach. Nora faces any challenge with perseverance and determination. Nora was a member of the Safety Patrol, Help Group, participated as a book buddy in our second grade class as well as in our satellite classrooms. This young lady is always eager to help her fellow classmates, teachers, and she always made sure that everyone felt included. She also played Wyandotte recreational basketball and was part of the Indians cheerleading squad. Nora has an infectious spirit of kindness and joy that radiated through the school as well as my classroom. It is my pleasure to award Nora Sherratt for her perseverance and performance with the Michael Knapp Legacy Scholarship Award. Now we have Zachary Leckety. Zach is an extremely talented individual, both academically and athletically. This young man was a diligent student who put his academics first and was up for any challenge. Every day, Zach came to school with a smile on his face, positive attitude, and was ready to learn. Zach stood out in our classroom as a peer mentor. He was always ready and willing to help his fellow classmates in math or reading. Zach was also a member of the Safety Patrol, Help Group. He was a book buddy for our second grade classroom as well as our satellite classrooms. He participated in 2 different basketball leagues at the same time and is currently playing Wyandotte Rec baseball without missing a beat from his academics. Zach has a very bright future because of his leadership and hardworking spirit. And again, it is my pleasure to award Zachary Leckety with the Academic Scholarship Award.
Yay.
Okay, last but not least, I'd like to invite up our interim principal, Mrs. Margarita Shammy from Wilson Middle School. Along with Mrs. Shammy is also our interim assistant principal, Brenton Petrick.
All right, good evening. What a beautiful night this is to hear about all these wonderful kids and to know that pretty soon they'll be ours.
They're coming your way.
I want to start by just kind of explaining what the Al DeFran Scholarship is for those that aren't familiar with Al DeFran. I know he was before my time, but entering into Wilson some 17, 18 years ago, over the years, I've learned a little bit more about him. And I think it's important to start by sharing who he was and what this scholarship really means. So the Al DeFran Scholarship Award was initiated back in 1989 by our Wilson Middle School staff and administration to honor longtime Wilson principal, Mr. DeFran. Mr. DeFran was well-liked by his peers and admired for his leadership skills. He was a man who demonstrated true leadership and demanded excellence of everyone, including himself. He expected students to not only treat our staff with respect, but also show the same respect for their fellow classmates. This award not only honors Mr. DeFran, but it also honors 2 of our 8th grade students who display outstanding leadership, academic excellence, and demonstrate the warrior way. This award is accompanied by a $500 scholarship and a trophy for each recipient, as well as adding their names to our Wilson plaque. So students are nominated and voted on by Wilson School staff members. We have all staff participate in this. We narrow it down to our top 10.
And then we ask teachers to write about why those 10 students are deserving of this honor. And then we do one final vote to identify our top 2 students, one male and one female. So before you tonight, we have Eli Michael and Kira Byrne. And I'm going to start by sharing what was written about Eli, and this is from Mr. Brovant. Mr. Brovant states, Mr. Brovant states, I have had the pleasure of knowing Eli since his first day of school in 6th grade. He was a standout in my STEM class and a huge part of the success our robotics team have had during his time here at Wilson. Eli is hardworking, generous, and genuinely curious, a trait I wish I would see more often in kids. With the help of his parents driving him around, but with Eli doing the work, he was personally responsible for bringing in more sponsors and more money to our robotics team than we had ever had since the program started. He went into those businesses and convinced most of them that this was a great opportunity for the business to advertise and a great opportunity for our team. He stressed community to them. Eli is truly one of a kind and will be missed. I can't wait to see what challenges he conquers next and how many people he will help along the way. And I personally have had 3 years with Eli, and I couldn't agree more with what Mr. Brovant stated. He's an exceptional student. He goes above and beyond. He's always got a smile on his face. He's always willing to help. He couldn't be more polite and kind to those around him. He's just a genuine leader, and I am going to miss him very much. So congratulations. This is a fake scholarship receipt, so you can cash this in once you've graduated. Congratulations.
And I'll be speaking on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Rakowski for Kira Byrne. So Mr. Rakowski says, I was lucky enough to have Kira in 3rd grade at Garfield and again in 6th grade here at Wilson. Even luckier, I get to see her around school and witness the amazing young woman she has become. Kira was always friendly, kind, and dedicated to school, but the growth she has shown is incredible. She has of what we hope our students will become. I've known Kira for 5 years, and I can only imagine the heights that she will reach 5 years from now. From a personal standpoint for Kira, she's always seen around the hallways, smiling, being friendly, willing to help out in the hallways, and helping out all students in our building as well. Mrs. Rakowski also says, Kira is a kind, hardworking, and enthusiastic student. She exhibits such positive energy that it's hard not to follow her example. Kira's exceptional work ethic and commitment to excellence are evident in her grades and thoughtful contributions to class discussions. Her dedication and passion for learning will take her far in high school and beyond. So she will be missed, surely. And I would like to present Kira with also the fake receipt, but for her scholarship when she graduates. So congratulations, both of you.
Okay. Well, I have a decision for the people in the audience to ponder. You have a choice. You could either stay and listen to budget, or I do believe that there is a fine ice cream establishment within walking distance, and I know it's hard to receive those scholarships. So I would suggest you decide, stay for budget or take your recipients out for a cool treat. I'll leave it up to you to decide. We'll give you a minute to think about it.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It's probably better for them to see you if you're at the podium.
Yeah.
So give it a minute to clear out.
Bring them to the.
Oh, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, it's so interesting. I never thought like I had a good friend on the team.
I am going to probably start before they completely clear out though, so that they move it. Thank you.
Well, never.
Is she? It's funny.
That's okay.
It's your restaurant. Yeah. That's it. My mom and daddy used to go there all the time when it was open. Now it's a doctor's office. North Line.
Yeah, there's two of them.
Yeah.
All right, as folks are transitioning out, I'm going to kind of talk about the next thing that's coming up.
Bye, take care.
So next, we're going to have the hearing of the public, and the first thing we're going to do is the budget hearing. The Director of Finance, Brandy Nusser, will present the summary of the 2023-24 final budget amendment and discuss the 2024-25 budget amendment. All persons who desire to be heard shall be given the opportunity to speak on these two budgets after she is done.
Nobody wants to stay for budget.
I'm so sorry. And your Canva looks so lovely, too.
Yeah, Jason's here.
Jason's here, and
I prefer to
Sharina.
shows, honestly.
Yeah, we have a few friends staying.
Okay. Do you want me to begin, or?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay. So as you all know, required to adopt a final budget for the current fiscal year, as well as for next year's budget, and also to hold a tax hearing, just kind of explaining like what our taxes consist of and what our tax rates are. So just on the agenda, we have just a budget overview of what our funds consist of and what our budget is. An overview of our local revenue and property taxes, as well as the tax levy for 2024. Just kind of an overview of revenue and expenditures, and then some fund charts and historical data. The budget overview, as you all know, we have our general fund, which is where all of our operating expenditures come from. This is our main fund, where our fund balance, everyone is familiar with our general fund balance. This is both our revenues for general fund also include our state and federal grants. We also have our debt service fund, which is where our bonds are paid out of. We have special revenue funds, which are Act 18 center programs funded by RESA. We also have our cafeteria fund and our student activity funds at each of the schools. Capital project funds, we have a building and site fund and also a sinking fund.
Randy, can you advance the screens?
I apologize. Okay. So local property taxes. These consist of our non-homestead property taxes that are 18 mills. These are essential for every school district to operate. These 18 mills expire in December of 2025, so these will need to be renewed. Every property in Wyandotte pays these except for primary residence property. We also have our state education tax. This is 6 mills. This is collected by the city, sent up to Lansing, and then this is distributed as part of our foundation allowance per pupil. We also have our sinking fund. This is 1.75 mills. It is collected on all property, and it was passed in March of 2020, and it expires in December of 2029 unless it is renewed. And we also have our debt fund, which is 3.5 mills. And this is collected on all property, and this originated in February of 2015. So this will end when the debt is paid off. And this is just a glance at what our levy looks like, the state levy of six mills, and then our local levies that the school district directly gets. So this is the 18 mills of operating, 3.5 mills of debt, and the sinking fund is reduced by Headley. That was originally 1.75, and it's been reduced down to 1.7012. State taxes are levied in the summer, and the rest of our taxes are levied 50% summer and 50% winter. Just some key assumptions for revenue. In 23-24, we received state aid
based on a blended count of 4,310 students. This consists of 90% of our fall count and 10% of the previous year's spring count. So we have not received a budget from the state yet, but we anticipate getting somewhere between 217 and 302 of an increase per pupil. That's on top of the 9,608 that we currently get. And just to compare, this year, we received an increase of 400 per student. We also get a Wayne Reset Enhancement millage. This was renewed in November of 2020. It is 2 mills. It lasts for 6 years. And the total amount of revenue that we received this year was $1.645 million. And this is used for enhancement of technology. For 24-25, we based our revenue budget on the current 23-24 final, which you'll see here. And so that final budget is at $54.4 million. Some key assumptions for expenditures. Just a fun little fact. Salaries and benefits usually make up about 75% of our expenditures. These were carried forward into 24-25 for our original budget. The only thing that I did exclude out of there was the pool renovation, just because the pool is done. So those are, I apologize, I can't see the screen. So those are $55.4 million for 23-24, and we reduced them down to $55 million for 24-25. The estimated fiscal year for 23-24 final budget, this includes the general fund that I just showed you, along with our federal programs, federal and state program budgets. We are looking at an excess expenditure amount of just under $1 million. So this brings our projected fund balance to $8.8 million. If we take that as a fund balance as a percentage of expenditures, we're looking at 13.7%. That is how our district calculates that. If we were calculating it as a state, it would be 13.9 based on revenue. The next screen is our estimated 24-25 carry forward. I did not calculate a percentage of fund balance just because there are a lot of unknowns at this time. But it looks like if everything were the same except for the pool renovation, we would be looking at an excess expenditure of $500,000 and a fund balance of $8.275. And then just some historical data for you. These are our revenue trends going from 2007 to 2023. You'll see this slope drastically inclines the last 2 years. That is due to a lot of the COVID funding that was coming through. Also, we had a grant from the state for pension expense as well. So that increased our revenues by quite a bit. Expenditure trends, you can see, kind of go along the same way because those grants require matching expenditures for them. And this last slide is just enrollment trends from 2011 to 2024. And again, you can see that loss of about 100 students per year from the 18-19 year. Right in there is where we kind of peaked. So that just kind of shows the trend that we have in declining enrollment, which I don't think we're alone in that at all. And that's all I have. I would like to take a moment to thank Sharina. She helped a ton with this budget. She helped with a lot of the federal funds, the Act 18, and then of course she's the second set of eyes for everything else. So thank you. Are there any questions?
Questions for Brandy? We had some time at our work session, but this is also the time when it's the public kind of viewing of this. So if you want to ask anything that has come up since we talked about it previously, share any thoughts. I also want to thank you and your office for doing this. This is a huge lift always, and then there's been a lot of other, obviously, work that you've been doing because it's a negotiation year, so we appreciate being able to juggle both of those things at the same time. And I appreciate the presentation as well. I think that it's helpful for us to see, and it's good for, the community to see that we keep an eye on it, and we're watching enrollment carefully. That's a huge, portion of how we get our funding, and so it's good for us to kind of always come back to the community and share what we have learned. Anybody else have a comment? No.
Thank you for a job well done.
Fantastic
Thank
work.
you. Appreciate
Yes.
that.
Thank you. All right. So now is the hearing of the public. Wyandotte Public Schools Board of Education welcomes public discourse. Now is the portion of the meeting where the public may address the board. Those who wish to speak should approach the podium, state their name, and address the board. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person. Members of the board and district employees will not answer questions during public commentary. Is there anyone wishing to address the board at this time? It would be appropriate to address us on budgetary issues or any other issues.
Jason Krajewski, 2229 23rd Street. I'd be remiss not to talk a little bit about all the students that you saw up here, because that's why I'm here. It's because of the students, and I'm pretty sure looking at all of you up there, that's why you're here. And, you hear a lot of things about today's youth. And this is a breath of fresh air because I think it allows all of our public, all of Wyandotte, to see what kind of students we have. And they are the majority, right? And I want everybody to know that because I see it on a daily basis. And we can hear things left and right about students who don't make the right decisions or the ones that people want to complain about. But unfortunately, the people that do that are the ones that don't look beyond, and it's a shame. So I hope everybody out there watching understands this is the majority of our students, and we owe it all to the parents and the teachers of this district who do that, as well as the administrators and all of you. So thank you. It's great to know that there's some great students coming up, as there always is. So that's the first thing. The second thing is just the teachers themselves. Seeing a lot of the teachers up here who were speaking, some of them former students, some principals were former students. So you can see the love for Wyandotte. It's a different community, and I think Dr. Anderson, for one, has seen this as the new superintendent with a year under his belt, or almost a year under his belt. And we have people who want to come back. We have maintenance members whose grandkids and kids all went through this school or are going through this school. We have secretaries who went through this school and continue to bring their families up through this school. And it keeps going. And it keeps going. A lot of you're here because your kids were in school or are currently in school. And that's a big deal. That's a big deal to me because I've made my home here in Wyandotte, and I'm not going anywhere. And as an educator, I'm not going anywhere in the near future either. So I want to thank everybody for giving me this time. Talk a little bit about Brandy and what she has done, as well as Dr. Anderson and Tanya Brody. I want to thank them. We've had some serious discussions in the past few weeks, and I just want to thank all of them for a good school year and looking for a few more good ones to come forward. But it's something that I'm sure a lot of you will learn about later on at a different time. But I just want to thank them for working with myself as a new president for the union, and I look forward to continuing the relationship and building upon it. Lastly, I always want to highlight some of our members. We have a member of the high school, Kelly Lomas, who's an English teacher. Kelly actually got a position at Henry Ford Community College for the summer in their Hawk Advantage program. I hope I didn't get it mixed up, but Hawk Advantage program. What a lot of community colleges are seeing is they're seeing a lack of academics from some of the students coming in, whether it's from COVID or whatever it is, but people who want to go to college. And Kelly has been hired to work with struggling students to bring them up to par. So that's one of our own who is teaching at the college level. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to Kelly Lomas and all of our teachers who do amazing things. But again, thank you for all of you for allowing me to come up here and, just let's go Wyandotte.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to address the board at this time? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on with our action agenda. And we have a busy one tonight.
All right. We're going to start off with some membership renewals. One is for the Michigan High School Athletic Association, and the other one is for Metro Bureau. The Board of Education Board of Education memberships must be approved by the board at a public meeting. The administration recommends that for the 2024-2025 school year, memberships with the following organizations. The Michigan High School Athletic Association sets statewide rules, league, area, state competitions, and are the organization behind all of our sports grades 6 through 12. There's no cost for membership.
I move approval of the 2024-2025 membership in the Michigan High School Athletic Association.
Support. Discussion. It's a longstanding membership, important for our student athletes. Roll call, please.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
All right, the other membership is for Metro Detroit Bureau of School Studies. It provides up-to-date information on policy, law, legislation, and professional development. The 2024-2025 membership cost is $2,630.75.
I move approval of the 2024-25 membership with the Metro Detroit Bureau of School Studies in the amount of $2,630.75.
Support. Discussion. Good value for us. Let's take a roll call, please.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
Resolution to borrow against state aid. Each year, it is necessary for Wyandotte Public Schools to borrow funds in order to meet its cash flow needs during the months of August through December. It is anticipated the borrowing requirement this year will be no more than $5 million. The Director of Finance and I are recommending the board approve the resolution to participate in the Michigan Municipal Bonding Authority State Aid Note Program, authorizing the issuance of state aid anticipation notes.
I move approval of the enclosed resolution to participate in the Michigan Municipal Bonding Authority State Aid Note Program, authorizing the issuance of state aid anticipation notes totaling no more than $5 million for the 2024-25 school year.
Support. Any discussion? We discussed this at our work session last week about the need to do that to cover our funding for the beginning of the school year. Any questions? Brandy's here if we need further clarification. All right, let's take a roll call, please.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
The next is the 2023-24 school year final budget amendment. The 2023-2024 fiscal year final budget amendment, as recommended by the Director of Finance, Brandy Nusser, was discussed at a work session held on June 4th, 2024, and during the public hearing portion of this meeting. The Director of Finance and I recommend the adoption of the 2023-2024 final budget amendment as proposed.
I move approval of the resolution for adoption of the 2023-24 final budget amendment as proposed.
Good? Discussion.
I just want to thank Brandy and her staff again. Thank you so much for a job well done.
Good job.
Anyone else? We've talked about this last week, earlier today, and then just now. Okay, let's take a vote.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
2024-2025 original budget. The 2024-2025 fiscal year original budget, as recommended by the Director of Finance, Brandy Nusser, was discussed at a work session held on June 4th, 2024, and during the public hearing portion of this meeting. The 2024-2025 fiscal year original budget is an extension of the 2023-2004 final budget amendment and will be updated with a revision in the fall. The Director of Finance and I recommend the extension of the 2023-24 budget as the 2024-25 school original budget as proposed.
I move approval of the extension of the 23-24 budget as the 24-25 original budget as proposed.
Support. Any discussion? This was part of our early talk as well. Last call, everybody good? All right, let's take a vote.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
Tax levy certification. Director of Finance, Brandy Nusser, has prepared a resolution to establish the 2024 tax levy, including the approval of the L-4029 to authorize 18 mills for operating purposes on non-homestead property, 3.5 mills for debt fund purposes on all property, and 1.7012 mills for the sinking fund purposes on all property. Taxes are to be levied 50% on the summer and 50% on winter tax collections.
I move adoption of the resolution for the 2024-25 tax levy, authorizing a tax of 18 mills on the non-homestead property, a tax of 3.5 mills on all property for debt fund purposes, and 1.7012 mills for the sinking fund purposes for the 24-25 school year.
Support. Any discussion? This was also what we went over last week, earlier today. All right, take a vote, please.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
All right. Schedule of the 2024-2025 Board of Education meetings. A list of meetings is enclosed as per board bylaws, with regular business meetings and work sessions scheduled on various Tuesdays of each month. Meetings can be canceled or added or changed. This is simply a scheduling and planning tool.
I move the schedule of the Board of Education meetings for the 24-25 school year be approved and the schedule be posted as required by the Michigan Open Meetings Act.
Support.
Any discussion? Now's the time to bring up if you have something that you noticed on there. Everyone good with it? If you noticed, you might see that we work to kind of spread them to maybe like more the first and third or the second and fourth, so that we're not meeting 2 weeks in a row. This gives a little bit more time, especially after we have a work session where a lot of work is done or a lot of kind of things are requested. This gives Dr. Anderson and his staff another week to prepare that agenda and to gather the materials. So we're hopeful that this kind of every other week type schedule.
That when I first went on the board, it was like that.
Yeah, and I think, things just got off during COVID, and then I don't know what happened, but, yeah, I feel like this might be a little bit better for us. I will remind the board that, we probably will be scheduling some additional meetings later this month because we have some things that we'll have to approve. So just keep an eye on your board email and just note that those may be added, to approve contracts as they come due. But you'll kind of see how that goes from here. All right, any discussion? I just want to bring up that rationale for that and point that out, so hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Okay, let's take a vote, please.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
Retirements. Susan Inks, instructional aide at Monroe, will retire on June 30th, 2024, after 16 years of service, and Jacqueline Kowalczyk, paraprofessional at TLC, will retire on June 30th, 2024, after 23 years of service.
I move acceptance of the resignation for the purpose of retirement of Susan Inks and Jacqueline Kowalczyk and thank them for their many years of dedicated service to the children of Wyandotte and Wayne County and wish them well in their retirement years.
Support.
Any discussion? These folks will be missed. As a former Monroe parent, I know Jackie and Sue were both part of my kids' schooling, and so we will miss them, but we certainly are happy to see them take on the next chapter in their life. All right, let's take a vote, please.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries. Congratulations.
Leave of absence. A nurse at Madison Center, Erin Hill, has requested an unpaid leave of absence through the 2024-2025 school year. The Director of Human Resources and I recommend approval of her leave of absence.
I move approval of a leave of absence of Madison nurse Erin Hill through the 2024-25 school year.
Support.
Discussion? Vote.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
Wayne County Regional Enhancement Millage. The Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency, otherwise known as RESA, will be submitting a millage proposal to each school district's electors on November 5th, 2024. They are asking for support of this regional enhancement millage proposal.
I move approval to support the resolution submitting a regional enhancement millage proposal for the November 5th, 2024 election, and the school board secretary be authorized to sign the resolution.
Support.
Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Member LaCicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
All right. Big Ideas 2022. The Director of Curriculum, Jessica Shipman, and myself recommend approval for Big Ideas 2022, grades 6 through 8, for 1 year of digital licenses and physical materials for $43,164 to be paid using general funds.
I move approval for Big Ideas 2022, 6 through 8, for 1 year of digital licensing and physical materials for $43,164 to be paid using general funds.
Support.
Any discussion? This came up at our work session twice now. I think we talked about it in May and last week in June. This is an extension of what's been used this year while the staff works to see what they might want to adopt on a permanent basis. No discussion? Mrs. Shipman's here if you have any questions. All right, let's take a roll call, please.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member Lo Cicero?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
All right, Collaborative Classroom, third edition. The Director of Curriculum, Jessica Shipman, and myself recommend approval for the Collaborative Classroom, third edition ELA program for 7 years of digital licenses, 1 year of consumables, classroom libraries, and classroom kits for a total of $365,625 to be paid using 35J grant funds.
I move approval for the Collaborative Classroom Third Edition ELA program for 7 years of digital licensing, 1 year of consumables, classroom libraries, and classroom kits for $356,625 to be paid using 35J grant funds.
Support.
Any discussion? This was covered at 2 work sessions as well. This is our entire elementary ELA program. Any questions for Mrs. Shipman before we take a vote on this?
No.
All right, let's take a roll call, please.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member Lo Cicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries.
All right. Wilson Middle School start times. In an effort to assist families that have multiple school drop-offs and to help improve traffic congestion, recommend Wilson begin its day 10 minutes earlier, beginning with the 2024-2025 school year, with the adjusted times of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7:40 a.m. until 2:39 p.m., and Wednesdays from 8:40 to 2:39 p.m.
I move approval of Wilson starting its day 10 minutes earlier, beginning with the 2024-25 school year, with the adjusted times of Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 7:40 a.m. to 2:39 p.m., and Wednesday, 8:40 a.m. to 2:39 p.m.
Support.
Any discussion? We've talked about this at a couple work sessions as well.
No.
Hopefully this will help families get their kids where they need to go across town and maybe alleviate some of that traffic. I know we'd all be happy for that, especially the folks that live in that neighborhood. All right, let's take a roll call, please.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member Lo Cicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries. All right, that's it for the action agenda. Consent agenda. Because items on the consent agenda are routine, there is little need for discussion. One motion can complete this part of the agenda. If anyone is interested in copies of reports, recommendations, or information, please contact the superintendent's office at 759-6002.
I move approval of Board of Education bills in the amount of $990 and bills and vouchers in the amount of $8,007,673.99.
Support.
Any discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Member Weber?
Yes.
Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member Lo Cicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
President Circovich?
I'm abstaining from this vote. I have a family member who was given reimbursement in the bills and vouchers, so I'm an abstention on this vote.
Okay.
But the motion still carries. All right, Committee of the Whole discussion agenda. Our next meeting is our organizational meeting, as we just voted on, July 23rd, 7 o'clock here at City Hall. Announcements, Dr. Anderson.
Just a quick thank you to the entire community finishing the first year. It was a wonderful experience. Looking forward to many more. And yeah, it's a lot of things to celebrate, including tonight. So it's been a great year, first year in Wyandotte.
Board members, any announcements?
I would. I just would like to comment on the heels of, Jim's comment about being here a year. With kind of the climate that's going on with other districts financially, I just want to thank Jim and Brandy and Shireen, everybody else, for keeping us on budget. There's some really scary things going on out there, and I feel for these communities. So I just want to, thank everybody for just having their nose to the grindstone, making sure every penny is accounted for. So appreciate it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I have a letter I'd like to read that I received from the recipient of the Pat and Dewey Wilson Scholarship for Life.
Okay.
Dear Ms. Cynthia Kenny, thank you so much for believing in me and investing in my future. I'm enrolled at Northwestern Tech. I'm eager to start my journey and help others. As always, my goal is to do my part to keep the world spinning, and my love for the trades directly correlates with that. I'll do my best to make you proud and make your generous investment worth it. These last few weeks have been particularly tough for me, but when you called my name and handed me that letter, I felt that everything that I've been fighting through was finally worth it. Having someone who believes in my ability enough to do something as selfless as this warms my heart and makes me feel even more motivated to pursue my dreams. Thank you again. I'll keep you posted on my journey, and I'll leave his name out.
It's fantastic,
lovely.
Cindy. That is fantastic.
That's why I'm
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
Why I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would hope you guys start thinking about, he's going to start going to HVAC. We could have done that for him and sent him on to something else. His dream is to flip houses, to become all kinds of trades and to help other people. His story that he wrote to get the scholarship was wonderful.
That's lovely.
It is, it's beautiful.
And that's just part of the great work that you're doing with the Scholarship Foundation, of course, and the rest of the foundation does as well. There were lots of deserving kids that night. If you have not been to that honors night, it's a lovely thing. It's a real bucket filler to see all those kids getting a little head start in their dreams. So, and thanks for doing that.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Cindy,
Thanks
for sharing.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I do.
I knew you had something.
I have two things,
Go ahead.
actually. The first thing is I need to thank the community, the city of Wyandotte, all its residents for always getting behind Blessings in a Backpack and helping us out whenever we need money to feed our students during the school year. We had our first annual golf outing on Saturday, and it was a huge success. We sold out for golfers for the very first time. It's a true blessing, and I can't say enough about the program. I'm on fire about this program. I always have been. And if I talk any longer about it, I'm going to start bawling my eyes out. But I want to thank Mr. Anderson, or Dr. Anderson, for coming and golfing. I was going to call you Jim, and that's not appropriate either. But for coming and golfing, and Cindy and Wendy for your donations. I can't tell you how much it means that the community sees that our children really do need this food.
That's right.
And some of the stories about the little kids, and I don't want to go into it, but the need is more than just food. When I'm running around buying shoes and socks and little jackets, and God bless these families during the summer. You know, I know that I'm friends with a lot of teachers that go home on that last day, and they're worried about what's going to happen to the students during the summer. Well, I'm that girl that goes home and says, how do I feed these kids during the summer, because they're not coming to get the bag of food. So please keep these families in your prayers, and where there's a will, there's a way. I've always wanted to do a summer program, and I haven't given up on that yet. I'm going to extend that. If it's the last thing I do, I'm going to extend that so we can feed them during the summer. And to piggyback on that, if you sat in this horseshoe tonight and did not get tears in your eyes or a full heart listening to the words of helpful, kind, great person, respectful, nice, good human, awesome, polite, hard worker, generous, friendly, those were the words that describe our students. And I think sometimes as adults, we forget that we need to be role models for them. And tonight, they were role models for us.
Absolutely.
So I hope that anybody watching this or anybody sitting up here, please self-reflect that, you know, sometimes you got to go that extra mile when you don't want to go that extra mile to be what our students are being. They are being leaders for us. They're being role models for us. And I'm proud to say I'm a Bear for life, and this is worth it.
Yeah.
Just those kids alone.
Yep.
Agreed.
All right, I'm off my soapbox.
Well said, and I think you spoke for everyone. I don't think anybody could have said it better, Dana, to be honest.
Well, sometimes you just got to come from the heart.
It's perfect. That's a perfect place to be. And I think, you know, I got to speak at a kindergarten graduation and a high school graduation, and I have a lot of hope for the future, right? We see these friends in front of us, and there's just nothing but hope. So it is lovely. It does. It makes you.
If I could share one thing.
Please.
I have a new neighbor, and they've been there pretty close to a year, and found out that she is a principal elsewhere. and they came from about an hour away, and she has students in every level, one of which is differently abled. And she shared with me how honored and privileged she feels that her students are to be here in Wyandotte. And used the same words that were used for our kids, for our staff member and our kids, and a lot of the parents that she has come with interaction for. And she said, you know, I know that you as a board usually get a lot of negativity in your comment, but I want you to know how much my family appreciates Wyandotte. That's
great.
So,
Very nice, very nice.
Man, we're going overflowing buckets tonight here, people.
All right, it's good stuff.
All right, anybody else? All right, so this will end the recorded portion of our meeting as we enter into a closed session. The meeting will be adjourned after the closed session, but this will be the end of our recording. All right, so for closed session tonight, we're entering into it for the purpose of contract negotiations and the superintendent's mid-year evaluation. So I'm going to take a motion for that, and then it's going to end this portion of the meeting.
I move the Board of Education take a short recess and reassemble in closed session for the purpose of discussing contract negotiations and the superintendent's mid-year evaluation.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
I'm so sorry. Member Browning?
Yes.
Member Kane?
Yes.
Member Kinney?
Yes.
Member Lo Cicero?
Yes.
Member Martinez?
Yes.
Member Weber?
Yes.
President Circovich?
Yes, motion carries. All right, adjourn.